Folks, I'm so excited tonight because I've got Barb from Grandma's Crochet Corner. If you haven't been over to Barb's channel, if you're new to Barb's channel and you're on my channel, check her out, folks. She's been doing a great tests that we're going to talk about tonight. She does a walking video every day, and she does how many months of live streams? Daily live streams.
It's been a solid 11 months of going live every single night, 5-6 hours every night. 9 Eastern until late into the hours. Late into the hours is when I get the UK people that come in.
Oh, cool.
So we got people around the world that come in.
So is it morning when they start coming in for them?
Yeah.
Is it morning for them?
For about 1 o'clock is about 5-6 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, the early risers are coming in.
And they come in to meet Grandma.
Yeah, of course. If I was a person that stayed up late, I would be on your late night channel probably. But I'm an early to bed, early to rise kind of guy. But yeah, I just love it, and it becomes like family after a while, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. People that come in every day, especially all these months, they're like my brothers and sisters. I guess they are my brothers and sisters in carnivore, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah, because you get to know them after talking
like
to
my
them.
best friends. They're closer than family, just about, Yeah. We learn so much about each other.
You've been doing a test, and I've got your results, by the way, but I'll let you talk about them. I've been marking them down so I can keep up with it. You're great.
I mark it down too.
Yeah. So let's see, you're on the 15th day, right?
15th day was today.
But
yeah.
You've actually tested 2 days before that too, didn't? But you just didn't.
Yes, because I wanted to get a base over the weekend before I started on Monday, and that base and that Monday Tuesday was quite the eye opener.
Yeah, was for me too. Was for me too.
I thought I'd be in ketosis because I'm a carnivore. I eat meat every day. This is going to be an easy test. No, it wasn't.
Yeah. And you've done so well. You brought those numbers down within, I think, 3 days, didn't you?
I was determined. It's like, What is going on?
Were you shocked?
I was shocked. So once you figure it out, you can stay in that window of ketosis, but you're still experimenting because different foods do different things.
Yeah.
So you just got to pay attention to your numbers and so many other things.
Yeah.
So many other things.
So when you first got the device, what were you expecting to happen when you started testing? I
really just thought that I was going to be in ketosis, that it wasn't going to be, a big deal, because I have never cheated. I took a spoonful of black eyed peas on January 1st, so my husband didn't freak out because he was superstitious, about that black eyed peas and cabbage. Yeah. So I took a bite, but in a year, that's all I did. So I figured I would be right in ketosis. This was going to be simple. That wasn't the case. I was not. As much as I remained on course carnivore, thinking I was doing great. For weight loss, I was not doing great. For healing, some healing, yes. I healed a lot of things, but for some of the other things, no. No. I weren't even touching base. I weren't even close.
For me, the biggest takeaway since I've been testing it, and you can say if you have a different one, is I was eating too much.
Yep.
I was eating too much.
Yep.
And so my body wasn't losing weight because I was feeding it all the fat it needed, and so it didn't need to burn any of the fat that was around my belly button, chinny chin chins. Would you say that was a takeaway for you? Or not?
Definitely. Yeah. Absolutely. Because I'm a volume eater.
Yeah.
So what I just figured, I can have 12-ounce, 16-ounce steak with some eggs on the side and maybe a slice of butter or 2 or 3 with some bacon. More fat, the better, right? Isn't that what we're always told?
Yeah.
But
they're not telling right. I'm sorry, they're not.
Yeah, they're not.
I would have agreed with them, but I'm wrong. I was wrong. You know, we look at someone, and I'm not picking on anyone because the person I'm going to mention is one of my very favorite people to watch online. We look at someone like Dr. Chafee that eats 2 or 3 pounds of ribeye a day. I'm not him.
Yes, I'm not either.
I mean, he's a
So him
specimen. You know,
saying
he's a
eat
specimen of
meat
health.
until you're full
Yeah.
is that's a message for people like him. That's
Yeah.
not a message for someone like me that's morbidly obese. It's just
No,
not. You
no, it's
can't
not.
tell me to eat 2 pounds of meat a day. I mean, I'd love it.
Yeah, me too.
The reality is I'm not gonna lose any weight.
No.
You know,
You can,
I believe that fat heals. You know,
yes,
so
I
if
do
I
too.
eat fat, I'm gonna heal. You know, my problems with my feet, arthritis. You know, all the pain that I had. So I'm gonna heal some of that, but a lot of it is it's still you got to count. You got to look at numbers.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I was shocked by what I found out. Everything that I thought I knew was not right.
Out the window.
Out the window.
So
Yep.
how do you like nasty sardines?
You know, when you don't eat them right from the can, which I always did, because I loved sardines, but I used to eat them with saltine crackers years ago. And if I ate them with pork rinds, I would get an upset belly. The two mix just didn't do well together. But I found making them in a different way. I love them still. I didn't think I would,
Yeah.
but I've had them with some scrambled eggs. It's great. I've had them alone. I just have to find a way of making them so it's not gross.
I have to eat them with mayonnaise.
Yeah, I've done it with mayonnaise. I put them in the air fryer. There's so many different things you can do
Yeah.
with sardines.
So I found this thing when I've told this story before, but I found this thing when my son-in-law had me test. He has the device, and he had me test, and I realized I was in trouble. I mean, something was very wrong, with my numbers, just like you found out.
Yeah.
So I started testing from there, and I went on the binge watching Dr. Boz and others to try to figure out what I was doing wrong. So, and I know, and I want to make this clear tonight to people. If you can't afford a Mojo, some of the takeaway things that Barb and I are going to talk about could help you get back in, and you'll know if you are. Saying that they can help you get into it. Now, it's easier if you test yourself because everyone's different. Some of the things that don't bother me bother Barb, and some of the things that maybe bother Barb may not bother me. And I'm a male, and she's a female, and so, but eating less, you need to cut your meals down. Now, anybody out there that is starting the diet, they're new and they're just, don't listen to this thing. What we're doing tonight is not for you.
Absolutely.
You need to get fat adapted. You need to just eat and do all the things we're saying not to do. But I'm like 6 months in now, and I've done this before. And Barb's over a year in, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
About a year.
This is different.
You'd have to at least be 4 months in.
Yeah.
Because you really need to be fat adapted to do this.
Yes. Yes, you do. Yeah. So what's your big takeaway since you started this thing?
Everything I thought I knew I was doing right, I'm not. That when I test and I figured out what I was doing wrong, the numbers work. It works. I lost 9 pounds in 12 days. And I was lucky to lose a pound a month doing it the other way. I'd lose a pound, gain 2 pounds, lose a pound, gain 3 pounds. And it was just this up and down yo-yo for months. At first, at the beginning, the first few months, lost it great. But everyone kept saying, just eat more fat or just do this. And I'd listen to them and nothing really worked. I cut back the fat, and the only thing that worked during that was when I fasted for 3 days, I lost some weight and I thought it was great. Then because of some generous people out there, got me the Keto-Mojo, some extra sticks, got me the the what do they call it? The constant.
I'm using that too.
You got it too? Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I put a new patch on it because it was getting,
So now I can see everything and I know what my body's doing. And I am totally amazed with all of them. You can figure it out. I know that I can't eat as much beef as I want to, and some days I'm just going to have to do sardine fast or an egg fast. I have to widen my window of eating. I was eating in the wrong window. I mean, all of it. There's so much that matters that I never realized it before doing this. So my eyes have been opened.
Mine have too. And at the risk of my channel, I mean, it's not been a popular thing to talk about, but I know my channel was always dedicated to people who are skipped over, by the carnivore, what we used to call low carb, high fat community. And I know in my heart that there are many people out there that are having a heck of a time because they're listening to all basically what I call clickbait.
Yes, me too.
It's clickbait, that's what they're listening to.
Same thing.
I do too, but I'm just not willing, even if it costs me all the popularity of the channel, what little it still has left. I'm going to push this because I know it'll help. And here we are with you. And how many people on your channel are doing it too?
Quite a few. I'm going to say a good handful or two.
Yeah.
And some of them are doing it with me. They're sharing their numbers. Some of them are doing videos too, which I think is great. They're learning. All right, I gotta widen my window, or I can't eat as much, or I'll do sardine. They're learning what it takes, and that's what's so great about this, because it gives you the power. You get to learn I'm all about learn your own body. Be a Sherlock Holmes, investigate, know what your body likes, and people are starting to realize what it takes to lose weight.
Right.
It's not about just eat meat. That was the case in the beginning.
So Lizzie Whirl has got a comment, and you guys are talking but not saying anything. You talk about eating windows or eat less.
Okay.
I have an answer, but would you like to answer that, Barb? And maybe we should be more specific about it.
Okay. Normally when we eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The less you can eat, well, let me put it this way. I eat OMAD. I like to eat one meal a day, and that's it. I found if I'm testing at 10 o'clock in the morning, which is when I have been waking up, that means I have to try to my last meal has to be 18 hours before that. So that 18 hours before I test is my window. I tried, because I did it with a shorter window with like 12, 14 hours at the beginning. I couldn't get my numbers down. So I kept going. I went to 6 o'clock. I barely touched the numbers. It wasn't enough. So I went from 16 to 18. 18 hours right now seems to be that little sweet spot where I can get down into Dr. Boss's ratio for ketosis.
Yeah.
And as long as I keep at least a 16-hour window from the last time I ate to that first morning test, when I first wake up within 5 minutes, it's my sweet spot. But I also know that if I increase that window to 36 and beyond, I can get deeper into ketosis and burn a lot more.
Me too.
Burn a lot more weight. So that's what we mean by window, is extending that time frame.
Yeah. So yes, and eating less. She said, talking about eating windows or eat less. Yes, got to eat less too. Now I can tell from your picture on your thing that you're probably not, you don't look to be very overweight. Of course, pictures can be whatever.
Me?
No, the lady.
I was going to say, yes, I am.
So what we're really targeting here is we're testing our blood sugar and our ketones with this little meter, Keto-Mojo, or anything you want. But I don't know of another one that is accurate as that one. Then we test it against how we're eating. how we're eating.
And what?
If we eat, say we eat the same amount of food, but eat it later in the day or closer to bedtime, does that affect our morning fasting numbers? And the answer is yes, it does. Would you agree, Barbara?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. So Dr. Boz says to eat as early in the day as you can, as far away from your bedtime as possible. Now, the reason is, and you can do this with one of these continuous glucose monitors, or you can just do it by watching the scale. Your blood sugar will stay up for a while after you eat, and it will come down in the many hours afterwards.
Yeah.
Not in an hour, not in 2 hours, not in 3 hours.
Many
hours, folks. So the goal with this meter, whether you have a meter or not, you can still, and I've made a video about this, how you can use these strategies without a meter. If you can't afford one, or you just stubborn and don't want to buy one, that's fine. But so I don't mind one way or another if you do it. But I'll tell you, when you see it for yourself instead of some guy on the internet telling you, then you'll have no doubt in your mind that I'm telling you the truth. And your body likes to lose weight at night while you sleep, folks. Yeah. So you got to get those numbers down. Would you agree, Barbara?
Absolutely. That's why I keep extending that window, because I want to get my glucose down before I go to bed.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing. If you can get what they call your dawn effect, your first testing in the morning, your dawn effect is high. But if you can get that to be low because you ate earlier in the day, you're going to lose weight. You're going to get into ketosis. Your Dr. Boz numbers, what we call Dr. Boz numbers, will be extremely high. Yeah. And that's what we're looking for. We want deep ketosis. And the only way to do it is extending that window as far as you can.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's important too. And that's another lesson that we've learned. Eat less and eat as far away from your bedtime as you possibly can. But I've learned some other stuff, and so have you, Barb. Different foods affect us differently. Yeah. Even if the calories are very close to the same. Would you like to speak to that?
I know that if I eat beef, for example, because I've tested it, if I eat beef at about 4 o'clock, my sugars will rise, and my dawn effect will be higher. My glucose levels will be higher because my liver is changing some of that protein into glucose. But if I eat something like sardines, it's higher fat, or even increase some fat, I'm going to get into ketosis a lot easier, a lot sooner. So that's why I'm doing sardines. Sardines I can get away with at eating about a little bit later in the day. But anything like beef, that's lean meat, I have to eat it earlier in the day. That's what it looks like so far, because I'm just now studying the effects of protein again after seeing what it did to me at the beginning of this test.
So Dr. Boz,
but eggs and sardines I can eat a little bit later in the day because they're different than, cuts of beef.
Dr. Boz says that it takes, and I don't know all her ins and outs of this, that it takes about 6 weeks of keeping yourself in nutritional ketosis to rewire the system, to get your new mitochondria, to get everything. And I think, honestly, you'll be able to eat beef as you continue this, Barb. I really do, because I do at least 3 to 4 times a week. But I eat early. I eat at 8 o'clock in the morning. I go to bed basically at about 8 or 9 o'clock, so, and I'm able to eat it. But it does raise me up just a little bit more than the fish or even eggs does.
Yes. I say noontime because I'm getting up at like 10:30. Right. So my morning is really at noontime. That gives me my larger window. I'm still eating like you when I get up in the morning, but
Yeah.
But of course, when I say noontime, I'm eating, it's because I just got up.
So just eat right, no need to test. Well, that's probably true for some people. It really is. But
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
I've said it over and over, but for some people, it's not good enough. I'm sorry.
if you're
What's
skinny,
wrong
don't
about
have
that?
no
Sorry.
weight to lose, you're just in maintenance, you can eat pretty much all you want. I
Yeah.
mean, as far as staying with carnivore and eat the meat. All you need to do is eat meat. How many times have we heard that? And you'll do fine. That's great. If
Yeah.
all you need to do is, your weight is normal. You might have some aches and pains. All that's gonna heal you, but if you're like me and are serious about other things, healing other things, you have to go a little bit further.
Right. I mean, you do. But, like I said, I'm putting this out here, and this is why I've talked about it a lot, because I know it's going to help people. Barb, what was your weight loss in the last few months, if you don't mind saying, before you started testing and getting this stuff right?
I was at 274, 75. Actually, I was at 275 the Saturday before I started the test. I wanted, to know my numbers. So it was right like 275-ish, right around in there. Right now, after 15 days, it's now, this morning I checked it, it's 265.6. So I've actually have lost 10 pounds. 10 pounds in 2 weeks, guys. 10 pounds. You can't say that was all water weight, because where did it come from?
No.
Because I've been strict carnivore for over a year. So now I'm seeing a very downward trend when I couldn't lose anything being on strict carnivore.
Yeah.
Only eating one meal a day, strict carnivore.
It's amazing.
And it's because I was eating too late at night. And it was only about 12 hours before the dawn effect, so I wasn't, my steak was not digested, broken down while I slept, so I couldn't lose any weight.
Yeah. Yeah. So these are takeaways for those of you that want to do this, but you can't really afford or want a Keto-Mojo, and that's fine. I mean, you can lose the weight, I promise you. If you're having a hard time and you can afford it, this is a way to get your numbers right. But if you can't, eat early as you can in the day, cut your calories down, and make sure the food you're eating is highly fat. I mean, you want fatty foods to eat.
Today, I'm testing that fact, because my steak that I had today at noontime was a lean cut. So I added butter, and I kept thinking, oh yeah, now I can add some butter, because I do want some fat.
Yeah.
So I put like a few tablespoons of butter with that steak, and I'm going to see what happens in the morning.
What happened to your sugars after that, if you've checked them?
Yes, I've been constantly checking all day. My numbers have been staying right in the 70s, and right now it's at 76.
Your sugars are better than mine, Barb.
And they drop all the time down into the 60s. And that's with eating butter, because I love butter. I can eat it right from the refrigerator. So now I feel like,
mine is 91 now, so that's not good. Yours is much better than mine. But and I can set a clock by it. By say 7-ish, it starts falling. By the time I go to bed, it'll be in the 70s, and then while I'm asleep, it'll be in the 60s almost the whole time I'm asleep.
I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, I can see it. 76.
You can see right there is where I had lunch.
And you're basically flatline, nice and straight.
And it dipped into the 60s right there. I was just sitting here crocheting, and my numbers just kept slowly declining.
You're relaxing.
Yeah, I was relaxed. So my numbers I'm trying not to have any stress.
Yeah. It's good. So anybody out in the chat have some questions for us? Because I know that we're maybe not saying all the stuff you want to know about? Here's one. Can hubby and I share Keto-Mojo? Oh, yeah.
Oh, of course you can.
Yeah, you could share it with your whole household. You just use, separate tests. It would probably be better to change the stabby out between people.
Oh, yeah,
but
definitely.
you can reuse that stabby for a long time, guys. So, I mean, I've used the same stabby for about 2 or 3 weeks now. But you can sanitize it, but you have to take it out if maybe for your husband and use a different stabby just to be on the safe side. But what were you gonna say, Barb?
I was just gonna say, yeah, all you have to do is either change it out or sterilize it. Either way.
Yeah. The tests are all separate, so yeah, it's very usable. Let's see. Do you see any questions I'm missing, Barb?
Paul, Paul's, I'm going to ruin his last name. Paul Salvatierra says Barb is wearing the Libra 3. He's the one that set me up with the constant glucose meter.
Oh, what a good guy you are. I don't know where his comment is. I put it up. Let me see.
It's pretty close to the bottom.
Pretty close. Okay. Let me go down. Well, you've got some good people on your channel. I'll just tell you, Barb. You got some people.
Yeah, I
had
someone, John, he got me some extra strips so I could test every day. I mean, everyone's just been great.
Paul, thank you very much. I mean, her test has been so interesting to me, and because I knew that there were people that could really use this. And when Barb agreed to do this, I thought, yeah, we're going to find out one way or the other right now. And I think it's been eye-opening for you and probably for people on your channel too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks.
Can't argue with
it. I've already seen body changes in my body since doing this. Yeah. My fat belly is actually getting wrinkled now. My belly hang.
That's great.
So it's like, I'm excited about it. And I've learned so much on what it takes to lose this weight. I'm 65 years old. I don't have the time another 10 years to get down to my, my normal, where I'll be for maintenance. I got to speed this up. This 1 pound a month. No. If I'm 100 pounds overweight, 1 pound a month, I'll be dead. My life will be over by the time I get down there. I don't have any more time to guess and be in the dark over how to do this. So this has helped me tremendously. And I have all of the ones that got me the meters and everything to thank, especially you too, Bob. Because I wouldn't have been able to do this if you didn't bring it up and help me open my eyes and show me the way.
I actually want to help people. Some people get so defensive about this, and I'll be honest with you, I don't understand it really. I mean, if it's not for you, go on and watch something else.
Yeah, I've heard.
I'm not in here to make money. I'm in here to help people, and if you don't want it and you don't like it, say la vie, bye. I don't care.
I've had a lot of people say you don't need to use that. You don't need to use it.
Yeah.
You can go on being blind about what your body's doing. If you're happy, that's fine. Do it.
Yeah.
But if you're someone like me that doesn't have 10 years to lose 100 pounds, then this can help you out and help you stay in that corridor of losing. Sure, there's going to be a day where I'm going to want to go out and have a nice thick steak, maybe a whole pounder with my husband at a restaurant. But then I know I can come home the next day, see where I'm at, check my numbers. Okay, now I'll have to fast for a day or two to get myself back into ketosis. I mean, it's a great gadget. It's a great tool.
Yeah. You want to answer that question, Barb?
Do the glucose numbers match between the CGM and the stick meter? They're close, and they're off about, I'm going to say like maybe 6. The glucose is off about 6 numbers, but they always are, the trend is pretty much yeah, are the same. I can watch the trend and watch the trend on both. They're about the same. So I don't worry about it too much. I just know that the meter, the actual the Keto-Mojo is going to be a little bit higher as far as glucose goes from this. This is a little bit lower.
Yeah.
So when this dips down into the 60s, I don't worry about it because I know I've gone and I've checked my sugar with the meter and I was in the low 70s. So I don't worry about it. So yeah, they're off a little bit, but not by much.
Okay, let's see what Miss Jerry got to say. Individually, when you stop doing the loss testing. Okay. You want to answer that one?
I ask each of these individually when I probably will never totally stop. I want to keep it so I'm doing it at least once a week so that I can see if I'm still in check. I definitely will use it when I'm doing at the end of a fast or do it at the beginning of a fast. And I mean an extended fast, like a 3-day fast. But this is teaching me how much food and when I should eat. So once I know this, I won't need to
Yeah.
test during those normal days because I already know what what it takes to keep my numbers intact.
Yeah.
So far, with what I've been eating so far, I'm still gonna. This test is still gonna go on for me at least another 2 weeks because I want to eat like chicken and pork and see if I get the same kind of numbers, and then do an actual 3-day fast or get beyond 36 because Dr. Boss talks about a fasting beyond 36 hours. I want to at least do that too and see what happens with my numbers.
Yeah. I agree with that. I'll share something with if I can figure out how to do it. Let's see. I want to do the window. We'll stick us over on the side here in a minute, Barb. So, folks, I've been doing this for a while, and honestly, I'm probably pretty close to being done with it. So, Dr. Boss says do this in the morning when you first get up. So I have done it in the morning for 32 days. Now, before that, for about 20 days before that, I was doing it different times of the day, which was probably not that effective. So I've been doing this for a while. I don't really need to. I know what works now. I mean, I just do. Now, because I'm kind of preaching it on the channel, I wanted to know it so well that I could, any situation. So I was telling Barb off camera before we came on the live stream that I went on Father's Day to the lake with my family and I got sunburned a little bit. Not too bad. I had a hat on my head, but my shoulders and back did. And my weight jumped up 2 pounds. And then my weight loss slowed down for several days after that. Now, I was eating constantly right. My numbers during that time, where you can see, were fantastic. What caused that? Well, it's the inflammation of getting the sunburn, foolishly getting out in the sun like a dummy and staying out there too long, which I shouldn't have done. But yeah. And Barb has something she could probably say with that too,
Yeah, I got down to 265 a few days ago, but I hurt my knee. A big pop. I was going down some steps and to help lift a laundry basket up. My knee popped. It was all horrible pain. It swelled up almost double. I gained about 2 pounds. Now it's starting to go down, the swelling, also inflammation.
Yeah.
But I did everything right. I was doing an egg fast. How much perfect is that? But today I checked my weight. I'm at 265. My knee's still a little swollen.
Yeah.
So that tells me I still have more excessive liquid due to, my knee. So I'm not worried. I weren't worried the other day when I realized that I gained 2 pounds. I knew what it was.
Do you want to get this one, Barb?
I eat 3 eggs, 6 bacon, and 1 pound of ribeye. Is this too much food? That would be double what I could eat. That to me, For someone that's just holding down maintenance, that's fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead and eat it. If you're just starting out eating carnivore, that would be fine. I would say kudos to you. Go ahead and eat it because it'll help you stay fat adapted. For me, though, for me to lose weight, I can't eat that much.
No.
I don't think I could possibly eat that much, for one thing. A pound of ribeye, 6 slices of bacon, and 3 eggs, that's a lot of food, at least for my body.
Yeah.
Maybe not for somebody else, but for my body. So yeah. What about you? Is that too much for you? You're a man. What's a man?
Well, I mean, I could probably eat that. I'm not that hungry, but in 2 different meals I could eat it, but I couldn't eat
2 different meals I could, yeah.
But it depends, Shell, is that her? Yeah, Shell. It depends, Shell, if what stage, like Grandma hit it out of the park with her answer. What stage of this are you in? Are you just starting? If you're just starting, yeah, do this. Do that for a little while. Get yourself fat adapted. If you're 6-8 months in and you're losing a pound a month, yeah, you're eating way too much. Way too much. I mean, just because if you'll get your ketones up, your body will start eating the fat that's on your body. You won't be hungry, believe me. You won't be hungry.
I haven't been hungry at all.
No. And you're eating half or more than half of less than what you had, right, Barb?
Yes, I'm not hungry at all.
No, me neither. I'm just not hungry. Now, listen, when I first started this thing, and I'd been away from the diet for probably 5 years, and I was super fat, I couldn't do OMAD. I tried it, and I could not do it. I went to 2MAD. I went to 2 meals a day, and I got myself fat adapted. That's what I did. So, yeah, it just depends on the stage you're in, the stage of this diet process. And don't rush it, guys. Would you agree with that, Barb?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, don't rush it.
Yeah, you have to get fat adapted in order to really do this and make it work.
Yeah, and fat adaptation means that your appetite's under control. That's when you'll know that you're fat adapted. When your appetite gets completely under control, and you might forget to eat.
One of the things that I like to add to this, if you can do a fast, a lot of people do like a water fast. They just have water and they go without food, and they do it for a day or 2, and they're not really hungry. If you can do that, you're ready to do this.
There you go. I agree with that. Let's see. I think we had this question or something like it. How often do you plan on doing the multi-day sardine fast? For me, I hope I never do it again, but I might. But I've done it.
I'll probably still do it on occasion, especially if I'm going to have some beef. I might go ahead and do like a sardine and egg fast together for a day or 2. Because I don't want to stop eating beef if it's causing my numbers to go up. But if I can fast before and after, and then have myself a nice steak, a ribeye, maybe a whole pound, and eat like that woman just said, I can play with my numbers and still be okay.
Yeah.
I know how to get myself back where I should be.
I love Dr. Boz too. Let's see, but she's a little hard to understand sometimes, I think. Well, I will never compare myself to Dr. Boz. I think she's wonderful, but I mean, it does get complex, but really you can boil this thing down, really. It's the whole thing about getting your sugars down and your ketones up as you go into that nighttime, whatever your nighttime is, guys. I used to work midnights for years, and I lost 150 pounds working nights. Whatever your body's used to, I think Barb was worried about that a little bit because she's a night owl. And I commented on your channel. I don't know if you saw it or not. That's her life, So if your life is a night owl, you can just adapt as your body's used to that. Yeah. But
one thing is interesting though is you got to make sure you have your fats. Not overboard, but add that little bit of fat, because that's at least for me, that was the case.
Yeah.
The fattier cuts of meat, and if it's not fatty, add a little bit of butter to it or some sort of fat to it.
How is my recent journey to losing weight different from many years ago? Well, back then I was just by myself. There was no big low carb community. I mean, there was, but not as much as there was now. And I just read the books, and I just, what my son said, I just cavemaned it. I just tried to do it the best I could. So I think in some ways this has been easier because I've learned some tricks that I didn't know back then. Folks, I'm losing weight like crazy. What Barbara is not a fluke. See, what Barbara's going through with her 10-pound loss. Now, I anticipate, Barb, that's going to slow down just a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be pretty steady. I've learned some tricks that I didn't know years ago, guys. But everything I said in my old videos, I think is very true, but I've learned some tricks. We can learn tricks as we get older, guys. And we have technology now that we did not have years ago, guys. There was no way of knowing these things. Now, do you have to have it to lose weight? No, guys, you don't. You can just follow what we've just said right here. And I almost guarantee if you'll follow what we said, eat earlier in the day, eat less, and try to make the foods you're eating very fatty. Make sure you're eating fatty. That's the whole thing about the sardines, right, Barb? It's fatty. And if you add mayonnaise like I do, that's the only way I can choke it down, or butter, like I think Barb uses butter, don't you?
Yes, I use butter.
She just.
And I also made some tallow bars.
Tallow bars. There you go. Yeah.
You
made them. You didn't buy the expensive ones.
No. I made it. I actually bought beef fat and melted it down and made my own tallow bars. Yeah.
So one of the biggest things I've learned, and I'm going to say it real quick and then let you say it, Barbara, whatever you think. Lord, I lost my train of thought there. The biggest thing I've learned is people are eating too much. They're watching these influencers or these people who have already lost the weight, and they're throwing a big steak this big on the grill, and they think, well, I can do that. Folks, for a lot of you that are not losing weight, or maybe you're older or whatever, that's just not going to work, folks. It's just not. I'm sorry. Will it work for you later on? Heck yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Barb?
It's the same thing with me. For many months, I was following the trends. I have heard, health coaches say you got to increase your butter, do this, do that. Eat 3 meals a day, eat 1 meal a day, all these different trends. Just eat meat. That's a big saying for one of our biggest influences. But these people are skinny minis. Their health journey is totally different from someone like me. They can get away with just eating meat and nothing else.
Yeah.
If that's what they want to do, kudos to you, because that's your journey. Yeah. And that's where what you should be doing is eat meat. That's what I should be doing too. But I got to be careful how much.
Yeah.
I got to be careful where I eat it, during the day. I have to pay attention to a few things.
For you, oh gosh, her name went right out of my mind. I interviewed her not too long ago and I forgot about it. Yeah, that's a totally different strategy. You can't listen to what we're doing. You just got to eat, and because this will help you, as you already know, because
But it's the opposite, really. She needs to eat before she goes to bed.
Yeah, eat before you go to bed. Yeah,
close the window down.
Yeah, and boy, I'm going to say something to get me really put out of the community. For her, I would probably add a few non-starchy veggies to it. I really would, just to see if it helps you. Non-starchy, none that's going to drop, just to bulk your food up just a little bit. But, you just, B, I'm so sorry, B. Yeah, she just commented here. B, I'm so sorry, B. I'm an old man, and the noodle has got a lot of cobwebs. I love her. She's such a sweet girl, and she's really recovered a lot of her health. I don't know if you saw that interview with her. I did.
Yeah,
She's
I've watched
18 or
all
19.
that.
Yeah, 18 or 19 years old, I think, if I've got it right, B. And she's done so well. And yeah, I'm not an expert on, well, I'm an expert on gaining weight, but not with this diet. So yeah, yeah, I know that. Yeah. So hope have I missed any questions, Barb?
Um, I'm not sure. Anyone have any more questions? Did we miss something? Did you see the picture text I sent you today? Oh, that was to Just Jerry.
So are any of the people in the comments, I know that there are some people on Barb's channel that are fans on Barb's channel that's been doing this. Would you like to share some of your journey on the in the comments, or tell us how your numbers are? I see a lot of people post their numbers when you post yours in the morning. What they've learned from this.
I know there's a few that
here's a good guy.
Yes, he's doing it too. Yep,
Yeah.
he's on my channel, John.
Yeah.
He started it about, I want to say about a week or two ago. And he's realizing he started his sardine fast today.
Yeah.
Yay. Sardines are almost impossible to get right now because there's a shortage of sardines. So I've been ordering them from Amazon. I now have a good amount of sardines for a while because I still want to do sardine fast.
I could probably do them too, but I don't like them.
Yeah, and Booby Goats, she's also doing it. She's doing it.
Oh, she is?
Yes. Hey. Booby Goats has started doing it. She won a Keto-Mojo on Just Jerry's channel. John Beatty donated 2 Keto-Mojos for someone to win. And that's been working great. Those 2 people have started. I mean, multiple people are doing it.
Me too.
I know Just Jerry does it too.
Yeah, I saw Jerry, but Jerry has already accomplished her goal. So and kept it off for years too. Congratulations. Yeah, I prefer the egg fast too. I'm actually doing one right now. I'm gonna see what the numbers are. Barb's already completed hers and she's got her numbers. I don't know what the results will be for me, but
I stayed right in nutritional ketosis, right where I don't need to be in the lower number.
No, you really don't.
That's not, if I went into a fast, food, I could get into it, but that's not my deal. Mine is to lose some weight and that's really it. Now, the lower numbers, of my understanding, is for those people that are fighting cancer.
Yeah,
they need a deeper healing.
But honestly, the longer you do this, the bigger. I've seen this in my own. It's easier to get those lower numbers without any effort at all.
Yeah.
Part of that, there's an adaptation to this too. So I do have fairly low numbers all the time.
Oh yeah.
But
your numbers are
better than mine. Because I've been doing this very strict for. I mean, I'm going on 50 or 60 days now that I've been on this plant. Now I wasn't doing it right at first, but I was getting better numbers. For the last 32 days, I've been testing in the morning, so it's a more accurate reading for me. But yeah, I think it's like anything. As you do it more, your body seems to, look at how much easier it is for you to get into it, Barb. After only 15 days, you're just throwing it up there real easy. Yeah.
I see some questions.
Yes, ma'am. Can you do them, or do I have to do them?
Louis Latito says, "Are you looking forward to trying continuous ketone monitor?" If they had one, I would do it.
I would if it wasn't too expensive. Yeah.
If they weren't too expensive, I would do it.
They've got to be cheaper than this. This is a little high, but you only need to do it maybe 30 days, folks. I mean,
Yeah. Another one is from N Rose. She says, "Is mackerel in the tin just as effective as sardines?" Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The ketogenic woman has a little saying, or I don't know if it's her saying or she says it. It's called SMASH. Did I say it right? SMASH. And it's it's a acronym for the fishes that will do well. See, sardines, mackerel, anchovies, salmon, and herring. I think I got it right.
Yeah.
Somebody correct me in the comments. Yeah. And so I think all those
there's
fishes.
a list out there somewhere that goes up the scale of the best, and it's
Yeah.
all those fishes, and then it goes up the scale to like shrimp and beef is at the top, meaning it's not as good.
Yeah. So there's Lewis's. Did we answer his?
Yeah, that's what we
Kerry
did.
Mann has actually tested this because he got one from overseas, I guess, because they're not available in the United States right now. I don't know how he got it, but he's tested it, and I don't know all his results. Has he released all his results from it?
He talks about it once in a great while, but he doesn't really get into what we're doing as far as the numbers go.
Yeah.
And he's also gotten a lot of negative feedback.
I know. I don't know why.
And it's like, you don't need to do that. Well, it's too addictive. It's like someone stepping on the scale every day. No. And I can understand why anyone would do this. I don't understand why there's so many people against this.
Yeah. What about Diet Coke, Barb?
I have actually tested Diet Coke this week. I tested because my daughter wanted to know what it does. Diet Coke does not affect my fasting glucose at all. It does not raise my sugar at all. It stays pretty even. It does no different than if I did unsweet tea or coffee. I don't put nothing in tea or coffee. That stays the same as Diet Coke. And now I can't tell you about any other diet drinks. I can't, but I know specifically Diet Coke does not affect my glucose in any way.
Yeah. They're probably not good for you, but I don't see how they change. I don't think
it's better than having a milkshake, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not the diet police,
I'm not either.
I'm not you do whatever you want, but the hard numbers, I can't see it. I can't see any difference. Can you? I don't drink Diet Coke, but I
do on occasion. And if I go to a restaurant or something, I'll ask for a Diet Coke.
Yeah.
I'm to me, as long as it doesn't affect me in some way, I've given up my everything.
Yeah. I've tested it since I've been doing this. I have tested it too. And I don't see any difference. I mean, I just don't.
Yeah.
You don't either, huh?
No difference at all.
Here may be some. I started on my weight loss journey on 3/1/26. My weight was 32 pounds.
No, 321 pounds.
I have to get my glasses on. Current weight is 257, so I've lost 64 pounds and did a mackerel tuna thing. My best ratio was 76 after 4 days. I got fished out. Yeah, but that's the beginning of it. 76 is great, guys.
Yeah.
If you're talking about Dr. Boz, right? Right, Barb?
Yeah. If you're in nutritional ketosis once you hit 80. So you're good.
You're good. You should lose weight. You don't have to do it every day, guys. Do it 3 days. I've done it 4 days before, and I hated my life. But yeah, just do it 2 days if you can only do it 2 days, and then go back. It's just that extra fat is building your ketone levels up, and as you get them up, your body. And I don't understand the science for this, guys. You can go to Dr. Boz and get a lot of this science. But you're trying to get the machinery, and boy, we're going to get over our head now, Barb. Your mitochondria that manufacture and use ketones. There's something about building that fat up that tells your body to build more of these little factories in your cells. If you had it in high school biology, mitochondria, that's way over my pay grade. All I know that it takes a few days to get you into that. And as you continue to do it and get your numbers up, that machinery, quote unquote, gets ramped up so that it's easier and easier for you to use these ketones. Would you say I said it right, Barb, or not?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, there was a point in this journey before I found all this that I was set against butter. You know, I thought that's why I couldn't lose any weight is because I'm eating all this excessive butter. And in reality, the butter was helping me with my ketones, you know, along with sardines and that type of stuff. My problem was I was eating too much meat. I was eating too much protein. Um, some's good, yes, we have to have some, absolutely. But, you know, if you're eating, you know, a pound of ribeye or a pound of chuck roast or whatever, and you're eating all that butter too, it's just, you're not going to lose no weight.
Yeah. So, have either of you used the body composition scales, and do you think they're accurate and even worth the money? Do you have anything to say about that, Barb?
I don't. I used to use it. I don't use one of those anymore. I just use a regular scale.
Yeah, I do use one, and I started it in March the 12th. Now, I started my diet in January the 19th. So it was about a month and a half after I started using this composition scale. It has electrical impedance or something like that. You have to be barefooted to weigh, and it goes through and it checks your body. Is it accurate? Well, you know, I've asked our AI overlords that, and it seems to be accurate for trends. Is it accurate like if you took a DEXA scan? No, it's not. But it will show you trends. In fact, I've kept up with it very closely because I'm 62 years old. Barb, say it, Barb.
65 years old.
Yeah, because I am deathly afraid of losing my lean body mass and becoming feeble. I mean, folks, you know, 62 is no spring chicken. So I can't afford to lose that body mass that would keep me being able to walk and move and be a functioning member of society. Plus, I got a new grandson coming this year, and I would like to live to see him get married some of these days. So I don't know if I will, but I hope I do. So yeah, I've used it. In fact, if you'll give me just a second, I'll show you something. I've shared this before. Let's see if I can share this. So let me get to where I can see it and you guys can. So this is since I've done the Keto-Mojo thing. So my weight on the 5th of, I started this on the 5th the 10th of May. And this was to this morning, actually, because I updated this morning. So I've lost 24 pounds since the 10th of May. But here's the numbers that I've shared this before. Yeah, I can see it on the screen. So right here's the important thing. In that 50 days, have I lost my skeletal muscle? And the answer to that question is no. Is that completely accurate? I can't know that without a DEXA scan, but I can know a trend. So I'll show you something over here. This is total since I started doing the scale. See? So I have not lost my skeletal muscle. I would have no way of knowing that without that scale showing me trends. And my fat-free mass, which is the part of me that's not fat, has not decreased either. This is right here. So, and my body weight's good. My muscle mass is actually increased very slightly during this thing. So I'm not trying to sell one of those scales. You know, you can buy them anywhere, and there's a bunch of companies that do it. But what I'm saying is, with that scale, if you're older and you're very worried about it, if you're young, I probably wouldn't even worry about it. But if you're over 50, you should worry about losing your lean body mass. You really should. And but here's the thing that I've said before on this channel, and I don't mean to dominate the conversation, Barb. Is that do you want to say anything?
I don't use use it, so
yeah.
I don't have one. I just have a regular Walmart scale.
Yeah, ketosis, you don't really need one of those scales that I've been. I just wanted to know for sure. But if you're in ketosis, you're not going to be burning up your muscles. You're just not, you know, and that's something I didn't know before. And that's something I've been wrong about in the past. And now it's something I've amended. You know, I've changed my mind. Yeah. Look at Barb. She's lost 145. Is that right?
145 pounds as a
She's
first
lost
week.
145 pounds. And instead of being weaker in muscle, she's walking around the block with something she couldn't have done a year ago to save her soul. Could you?
No, no. I couldn't even walk to the bathroom. I had to have a walker.
Yeah.
I had to have someone help me stand up. And sometimes I couldn't even make it to the bathroom. So I've done a lot of healing this past year.
You have done so well, Barb. I'm a huge fan of your channel. I can't even tell people that enough. I literally watch her content every single day, folks. Her walk and talk videos are so good, Barb. They're so good. And she just talks.
And I just blabber. That's, whatever's on my mind.
You're just a natural on camera. my youngest daughter, she watches you, ever since our first live together, you and I. She's become a fan of yours, and she just watches you. She's not on the diet or anything. No, she's the one that's actually going to have a baby soon, so she's not on the diet. But yeah, she watches you. She said,
"Aw."
She just loves you. And not only that, folks that don't know Barb, which a lot of people in the community know her, she writes some of the best songs. I swear, they're better than stuff on the radio.
And they don't get in it. They don't get noticed. 20 people watch.
No, they don't. But they're labors of love, aren't they?
Yes, it's telling people stories, and they don't have to be top notch. They're, my journey, other people's journeys. It's funny stuff that happens in our, our lives at night. Something will happen, and there's a song in that.
You just get inspired and write it, huh?
That's right.
That's such a beautiful.
And a lot of people will, hey, there's a song in this, and they'll say something. And
yeah. So one more question. I don't want to keep you too long, Barb, because I know you've got a live. She's got another live tonight on her own channel.
Yeah, we got an hour. We got a ways. As long as I'm off by about 8:30, we're good.
Yeah, we'll get you off. Yeah, I want to. What about this one, Barb?
Have either of you tried a 3-day fat fast? What do you mean by a fat fast? Just eating fat, or? Yeah. No, I haven't done just a fat fast, unless you consider sardines. They're fatty.
Yeah.
But you mean like eating butter or tallow bars? I have not done that. That is interesting. I wonder how deep into, ketosis you can get under the Dr. Boz ratio.
I think it'd be fine to do it. I really do. I really do think it would.
I don't see how it would hurt.
No, it can't. It won't hurt. No, it won't hurt. Just, you don't want to eat so much that you're on the run into the bathroom. But yeah, you eat too much fat, and you might have an experience. You know what I mean, don't you, Barb?
Oh yes, I do. But I found as long as my fat that I eat is cold out of the refrigerator, it doesn't bother me as much as rendered type fat, because I used to eat the rendered fat too, because fat's good for you, right? And I'd end up in the bathroom more than out of it.
Yeah, I've seen Dr. Boz actually recommend it to people, like just eat butter for a day or two to get them ketones revved up. I mean, but it's not going to hurt you. I love doing experiments. I really do. I'm going to try it now that you said that. I love doing experiments.
I love doing experiments, because that's the only way you're going to become Sherlock Holmes and test your body, experiment, and get to know who you are.
That's my favorite saying of yours. Your Sherlock Holmes saying. Because it's so true.
It is. You gotta be Sherlock Holmes, because you're investigating yourself.
Yeah.
That's the most important person in the world when you're trying to do this, is yourself. You have to know you.
Barb, your journey, and we'll just forget the Keto-Mojo and all that stuff from it. Your journey is so inspiring to me. I know you were inspired. You were inspired by Bill Knott and Carrie Mann, and it's their story saved your life, literally. Bill Knott, right?
Oh, definitely.
Do you ever think of the people that you're saving?
I really, people tell me all the time, and I'm just like, yeah. I'm glad that I am. I'm finding that out more and more people Especially last night, it really hit me. Because when Bill came into the live, it blew me away because that's my hero. He saved my life. And then someone said, because I kept saying that, and they said, but Barb, you saved my life. You're my hero.
Isn't that beautiful?
It is.
So
Someone brings with her, a crocheted purse that I made for her. She carries it with her so she doesn't have fear of driving. She's got the purse there so she can look at it and say, Grandma did it. I can do it. I can drive. I mean, how great is that when we can help somebody change their life?
when you got in the car the other day, which I know you've done this before, but there was you did your little driving video the other day, but there was a newfound confidence that I didn't see in you, the other driving show that you did. Would you like to talk about your fear of driving and stuff a little bit?
Well, the reason I stopped driving was because of fear, but also because I used to have severe seizures, just at a drop of a hat, seizures. And at one point, I had over 100 a day.
Wow.
I had to have surgery because I had a blockage, a 95% blockage. Once that cleared, the seizures started to go away, but I still had them at any time. So I was always fearful of driving because of that. But it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. First it was, oh my God, what if? What if? It started my what ifs. And then I got way too big, and my foot, I couldn't lift my foot because my belly was so big. I could not lift my foot onto the brake. What if I was to kill somebody? If I drive, I'm going to kill somebody. And that just made my fear so bad that I couldn't get into a car and drive. You get so big you can't put on a seatbelt, you could kill yourself along with somebody else. So I just stopped driving. But I was more fearful, not just of driving, but even leaving my house. And I'm slowly overcoming that. But the other day, I decided I had to do this because somebody else was considering starting the carnivore journey. And I said, you know what? I'll make a promise. If you give it 30 days on carnivore, I'll get into the car tomorrow and I'll drive. So that's why I was confident, because I was doing it for someone named Ann. And I wasn't going to let Ann down.
I love it. I really do.
And when the best part of this is I went to Walmart, then I drove to the park, which I have never ever done in my life by myself. I've always had someone with me. And I walked down a path at one of the journeys. I walked down a path and I came across a field of daisies. Two of the and the field of daisies has always been a place when all the bad things in my life would happen to me. I would just close my eyes and I would take my mind to a field of daisies, and that was my safe place. So when I found that field of daisies, I knew everything in my life was okay. I didn't have to visually bring myself there. I could bring myself there physically now. It's okay.
I love this, Barb. I wish so many more people saw your channel, and I hope to send some new ones there today, because I think you're so inspirational, because you inspire me. I think, who else is just letting it all hang out like Barb? And people need that. They need it. You talk about Bill Knott inspiring you. What a sweet man. He won't know until he goes to heaven someday how many people his lives he saved. No, he won't know, and you won't know. So it's just wonderful that driving, because I know when you have fear, it's hard. It's hard to overcome it. Yeah. I just love it, Barb. I just love it. Yeah, I love your walk and talks, the very best. But this Keto-Mojo thing has been so good. What is this? Let's see. You have no idea how surreal it is to see both of you on a live together. Well, I'm very happy. I'm really happy to be here with it. I'll tell you. Yeah. Barb's one of my favorite channels. I watch Carrie Man as often as I can, and there's some others that I just love. I love to watch. I watch a lot of things. I don't always make a comment on their channel.
Yeah, I sometimes
But
don't.
yeah,
Either,
I feel like I'm a distraction sometimes in the comment section, and I don't want to do that. Take away from them. So not that I'm a big star, but I know people say Butter Bob, and that takes away from what they're trying to produce on their, in their show. And I don't want to do that because, different people can speak to different people. Would you see that, Barb?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The people that will never watch me will watch, say, Emma Mann, like my granddaughter will watch Emma.
I think it all comes down to who you feel connected to.
Yeah.
Who you can connect to.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to keep Barb too late, guys. So if you got two more questions, then we're going to let it go because Barb's got another live stream. And she's not missed one in how long? 16 months?
It's 11 months, 340 days maybe now. It might be higher.
Coming up on a year now. And I'm not going to break her record. I'm not going to make her break her record.
Even if I don't have power, I still get onto YouTube and do my live.
I love it. Grandma's the best. Yes, she is. Let's see. Got a new worship song. Yeah. You can send it to me on email. On my email, butterbobbriggs@gmail.com. You can send it to me, Knuckles. Anybody else before we let Grandma go?
Dad is getting good with his music.
Huh?
Oh, it's just I was reading one of the chats and it just says Dad is getting good with his music.
Yeah, that's her dad is the guy that I have up on here now. That's her dad. B's dad is Knuckles. VT Shadow. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I see this gentleman on your comments all the time. Wasn't he one of the ones that helped you to get this experiment going?
Yes. He
Yeah.
was one of them. Yeah.
And he's doing it too.
Yes. He started. Yeah. And he said today is his sardine. I was going to join him on a sardine, but after doing my own sardine and then an egg fast, I was like, I want a day of beef.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, John. I really do. I just really love the walks. And
yeah, 71 days.
Sometimes you're not talking about diet at all. That's fine with me. You're just talking about whatever.
It's life. We talk about life.
Yeah.
Life. Look at all the things that can, set you back, stressors. Yeah. We've had people who lost their mom, and we've been right there to support those people, just everything in life,
Baby's
been bad day, lost their job.
Baby's been very good this time.
I know she hasn't jumped down my shirt. I've been just patting her, hopefully that she's content with just being pat.
Yeah. Well, folks, I think we've held Barb long enough. She's got a live stream coming up in a little while, and Barbara, you're always welcome here. Short notice, even just say I want to talk, and we'll just start a live stream without any planning.
Yes.
I love your channel. I love every part of your channel.
Well, anytime you want to get together, just reach out to me and we'll do it.
Yeah, yeah. And we can do it anywhere, on yours, mine, wherever you want to do it. So, folks, Barb has really worked hard on this thing. If you're interested in it, go check it out. She's got, I think, 15 different videos talking about the Keto-Mojo. She also has her regular stuff. Her walking talk. Yeah, your walks. Which is my favorite. Yeah.
I don't always get to do those every day. It depends on the weather and stuff like that. But
yeah. but you got a bunch of them. You
Yeah.
can really go back, Barb, and see your stuff from just months ago, and there's a real difference, you know.
Oh yeah. Every now and again I'll show off. We did a remember this a couple of nights ago, and I brought up my first walking video, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, you've changed so much." And
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
some of
I
the
think you're getting younger.
that's
You're getting younger, Barb.
I'm glad because
Yeah.
I'm 65 years old. I don't mind being 50.
My granddaughter said, "Grandpa, yeah, Paul, you're acting younger." And I said, "I feel younger, but I'm not
That's
younger.
right.
But I feel younger." Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being hunched back and everything. My back always hurt, and now it's like, yeah, I can stand out and be proud.
All right, folks, we're going to end it now. Thank you so much for joining us. Please go over, if you're interested in Barb's channel, go watch a few videos. Give her a subscription. It doesn't cost you anything. And leave a nice comment or anything. It helps the algorithm. And, you know, YouTube is not always kind to smaller channels. It's really not. And all we have to do is show some interest in it, and it really helps the channel. And plus, the content there is really good, folks. Barb, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bob, for having me, and thank you for helping me do this.
Cool. I'm all for it. And if you need more assistance, I'm there for you on that too. Yeah, I'd like to see you do it at least 30 days.
Oh, I'm going to.
Yeah. All right, folks. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you. Yeah, say bye.